everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Live a Thousand Lives. My name is Janaea. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Please hit the subscribe button down below and ding the little bell so you can get notifications from me. And if you are coming back again, thank you so much for continuing to come back. So today, I am doing my top 10 favorite standalones. It was kind of hard to do this one, because, like, the top 5 are pretty set, but the last 5 could change, so we'll see. As of right now, these are my top 10, so let's get into this video. Number 10, and they aren't in an order. The top 5 could rearrange, or the bottom 5 could rearrange, but the top 5 are pretty much set as of right now. But, you know, depending on reading, who knows. So, number 10 is 13 Reasons Why. I blew through this book. I know most of you have heard of this book. People are watching the Netflix series. And to be honest, I will not watch that series for the reason of I don't think it was necessary. But anyway, 13 Reasons Why follows our main character, Clay, who gets a tape, and it's from a dead girl. And it's kind of her story as to how she ended up that way. I think that it was such a fast-paced book for me. I think I read it in like a day, maybe 2. And it was really good and it was interesting. But I could see this falling off because of the fact that it was really hard for me to read. I've known a few people who have committed suicide, and I've had depression really bad and some suicidal thoughts in my past, so it was kind of a hard read at the same time. So I really recommend, if you've ever had a suicidal thought or have known someone who's committed suicide, think before you read, just because it might stir up some emotions for you, it might trigger you, and I don't want that. So that's part of the reason it could fall off for me. It was good, but I could see something replacing it. So I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, though. So I did like it. The next one, I bet you none of you have heard of, which is why I love BookTube, because we all hear about different books. But anyway, number 9, and this one could go up or down for me. So I wouldn't hold this spot, number 9, as number 9, because I will always love this book. But it's from Orson Scott Card. It's called Enchanted, or Enchantment. Enchanted. Follows a young boy named Ivan who stumbles upon a clearing in a dense forest, and he sees a princess laying almost dead-like in a pedestal with a circle, and he hears a monster. He runs away. And then years later, he's compelled to come back and not run away. So this is an interesting book because it does have the fairy tale-esque storyline, but it also has time travel. So it's really cool. It is a little slow and it is a little long. It's over 400 pages, but it is still an amazing read. I fell in love with it, and I highly, highly recommend it. This is the only book of his I've ever read, but I've heard that he is an amazing author besides this, so maybe I'll give him another shot. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars as well, just because it is a little slow. Number 8. This one, I didn't think I would like this book as much as I did. I absolutely love this book. 5 out of 5 stars for this book. And I saw it when I first started watching BookTube, but now it's like nowhere to be found. I've not heard anything about this or anything. I know I'm late to the game on reading it because I just read it a few months ago, but hey, that would be The Assassin's Game by Kristy Mckay. And let me tell you, like I said, I didn't think I would like it. I bought it because it sounded interesting to me, but I wasn't really sure I was going to like it. But I ended up really loving this. It's about this girl who goes to a boarding school, and there's a game at this boarding school where people try, called Killer. The game is called Killer, and members have to avoid being killed during the school year. So it's really interesting. I love the premise of this, and I highly recommend you read it. I think I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was super easy for me to read, super fast-paced. I loved it. It is a little bit of a hefty book. I think it's 325 pages. But it is super good. If you have not read it, you should. Number 7 is another one that I wasn't sure I was going to read or like. I saw it on Allie from Hardback Quarters. Maybe not. Don't quote me. But it is Far From You by Tess Shapero. And this is a murder mystery with a lesbian twist to it, I guess. So this, and it also deals with addiction, which I thought was really interesting. But it has to do with, at least the underline for me was proving that you're not still addicted, even though everyone thinks that you are, and proving your innocence. Especially when people try to blame you for your best friend's murder. It's super good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I read it super fast. I think maybe 3 days, because I have kids and stuff. It isn't very long. It's 337 pages, but it's so fast-paced. And I was shocked by the end. I was not expecting the end at all. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I would definitely check this out. Definitely check that out. The next one, I read this a while ago. I had seen it on someone's channel. I'm not sure if it was my poor copy of this book. But I really loved this book. And that is Ash by Malinda Lo. It is a kind of like a Cinderella retelling, except for she is bisexual or lesbian. I love this. It takes you through like a different type of fairy tale world. Like she enters a different type of world, and she has to kind of choose what path she wants to be on and who she wants to be with. And I loved it, to be honest with you. Absolutely loved it. It's phenomenal. I don't really know what else to say about it, but I think everyone should read this. I love Malinda Lo. I have not read anything else by her, but because of this book, I really want to. So, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book is one of my most recent finished reads. I just finished this yesterday, but it has moved to my number 5 spot. So, that would be Max Lucado's A Love Worth Giving. I flew through this book when I actually started reading it. I could not put it down. I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to finish it and see what he had to say. This book is basically how loving people is not easy, especially people who have wronged you in some way, who have gossiped about you, lied about you, who broke a promise to you, who lie to you, who steal from you, who cheat on you, etc. It is phenomenal. There was a chapter in here that got me so bad that I cried. I recommend this book. He is a Christian author, but if you want to know how to get over your hurts and to love people anyway, which is what our world needs, in my opinion, I highly recommend A Love Worth Giving. Yes, he does talk about God and God's love for us, but oh my gosh, I will reread this whenever I feel like I don't want to love people, because it is phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. I would give this like 1,000 stars out of 1,000 stars, because I loved it so much, you guys. But realistically, 5 out of 5. Number 4 is a book that I'm pretty sure, book and author, I'm pretty sure no one talks about anymore. The book, I can understand. The author, I don't understand. She's amazing, but the book is called The Time Capsule by Laureen McDaniel. Laureen McDaniel was really popular when I was younger, like in middle school and high school. This book holds a special place in my heart because it is about twins, and when they're 6, their teacher has them write what they want to be when they grow up, and they open it the summer before they're seniors, and they've been going through a really rough time. One of the twins ends up with leukemia, and it's about their struggle and their family dynamic and their family struggle. I loved this book. My brother, who I was really close to at the time when he gave this to me, which he gave it to me my senior year of high school, so that's been like 12, 13 years now, gave this to me as a Christmas present. It was the most thoughtful gift he's ever given me, and this book is phenomenal. You'll cry, you'll laugh. I love it. It's not very long. It's less than 300 pages. I think it's 215. But super, super good book, you guys. 5 out of 5. I haven't read it since my high school year. I'm going to reread it now. I was going to let my mom read it, and she just hasn't picked it up. My mom's not a reader, except for the Bible. So, but this one I will always cherish because of the brother-sister dynamic and the fact that my brother gave this to me. So 5 out of 5 stars. The next one is another Max Lucado book. I have this on audiobook and physical book, and this one has changed my life. So that would be Fearless by Max Lucado. I am terrified of everything, I swear. And I read this book at a time when I could not go a day without being afraid. I wouldn't leave my house. I was terrified that if I walked out the front door, I'd be hit by a car, or I'd get shot, or some. And let me tell you, I lived in a small town at the time, and I live in an even smaller town now. But I was terrified that something bad was going to happen to me. When my child started school, I bawled every day I took him because I was afraid something bad was going to happen. Just a lot of anxiety. This book helped me so much. I am not like that anymore. I have learned to, on my own, without medication, control my anxiety. And this book helped me a lot. I highly, highly recommend Fearless if you have any sort of anxiety or fear at all. It'll go over different types of fears. I highly, highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars, you guys. If you have trouble and anxiety and fears like I do, please check this out, because I guarantee you it will help you. Number 2, and this is a recent one for me, and I absolutely adore this book. I was so surprised by the fact that I loved this book so much that it went up to number 2 for me, because nothing will replace my number 1, I highly ever doubt. But number 2 for me is When Dimple Met Rishi. Oh my god, you guys, I love this book so, so very much. I want to reread it already, but I have so many other books to reread or to read. So I'm not going to be doing that yet, but I will probably reread this book every year, I think, during the summer. But anyway, this is about Dimple, who doesn't have any thought or want to be in an arranged marriage or to get married. She just wants to go to college and become a computer programmer, and develop apps and stuff. And she goes for a competition to develop an app and hopefully win this competition. And her parents and Rishi's parents send him there, and it turns so funny and so sad and everything. I laughed. I did cry at one point, but for the majority of it, I laughed. This book is phenomenal. I can't pronounce the author's name, and I don't really want to butcher it, but there's the author's name. And guys, you need to read this. You need to read this book. Please read this book. Anyway, 5 out of 5 stars for me. I absolutely loved it. It is my second favorite, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you may already know what my number 1 spot is, but I'm going to tell you anyway, okay? My number 1, 5 out of 5 stars. Best book I've read forever and read every year. Well, not every year, but I've read it at least 6 times now, and that is East by Edith Pattou. And it is about a girl who is the opposite of what her mother wants her to be. She is a traveler and she wants to travel, but her mother wants her to stay home, and she ends up on this adventure with a white bear. This is based off of Norwegian, oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot talk today, Norwegian folk tale or fairy tale or whatever you want to call it. And she ends up in this magical world, and that is part of our world, just kind of hidden. And it's her adventure with the white bear, and there's a mystery involved, and she has to try to figure it out, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's super long. It is an intimidating read. It's over 500 pages. However, some of the chapters, let me see if I can find them, are very short. Like the Troll Queen, her chapters are pretty short. The White Bear's chapters are really short. It's such an easy read. At least for me it was. I love this book, you guys. Absolute favorite. And I don't know anyone who's read it unless I've made them read it. So if you have read it, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. And let me know what you thought of it. But this is my all-time favorite book. Has been since I was in high school. So that is my top 10 favorite books as of right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am so sorry that it is so long. I don't know how to make it any shorter. But anyway, remember guys, a reader lives 1,000 lives and so can you. So keep on reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!